Welcome back, everyone. This is Cody Hart for Government Accountability. It's November 30th, and I am so happy to share something with everyone. And I want you all to pay very close attention because I believe I have broken the code, I have busted the system, and I am draining the swamp with an official federal process that has been concealed from millions of people. I believe it has been intentionally concealed and that I happened to, by the grace of God, be able to figure out what it was. And I want to talk about that today and explain to you guys it's my belief that I have successfully initiated the federal requirements that will require the state of Washington to follow federal guidelines for public hearings on the record and with witnesses being under oath for my findings of ballot forgery, ballot data forgery, violations of multiple federal laws by 6 counties. I probably could expand that significantly to 9, but I only have so much energy, and I wanted to focus on the ones that I thought I should really be focusing on. As you see in this map, I have Whatcom, Skagit, Snohomish, King, Clark, and Spokane counties. And I have filed federally regulated complaints against these counties. The auditors of these counties are currently having to deal with this. They were notified via email and by hard copy, and the canvassing boards were as well. So let's talk about the complaints. So let's look here. I want everyone, if you want to see what I did and see what the nature of this is, I am very transparent about what I'm doing. And this appears to be historic in my uncovering of what this system is, and I want to talk about it. For everyone out there in the fight for government accountability, I want to explain what I believe I have found and what has been going on. So first off, let's talk about where you can find a copy of what has been filed and is being processed in accordance with federal law right now. It's the administration of it is through state agency in Washington, Secretary of State. It's going to be very difficult to forecast what's going to happen here because nobody's ever done what I have done. And you'll understand why here in a minute. So when you go to my website, Cody Hart for Government Accountability, under my blog section, at the very bottom, you're going to see that I have downloads available. And the very most recent one here is November 2022 HAVA complaints. This is Help America Vote Act complaints. And you're going to find a scanned PDF of almost 100 pages. And these are 8 complaints against 6 counties, Whatcom, Skagit, Snohomish, King, Clark, and Spokane. The first one here is King County. And the nature of this one is really what all 6 have in common. Skagit County is got a special little spot in my heart. For their corruption and what they've been doing. They will have at least 6 against them individually for what I have become aware of under this program. And to be clear about this, I have named in each of these counties the canvassing board, the auditor, and participants with the Secretary of State's office. So I think I'm going to start here with the King County one. It really is a good representation of what's going on. So I'm going to read it so everyone understands it. I'm going to say it how it was submitted on this program. It is during the 2022 elections, I discovered that the King County election ballot data included ballot date and time, modifications, that were being distributed as the public record of ballot data through both county and state ballot data distributions. This is what you guys will see through the August primary, of which I was a federal candidate. And the November election, they continued this as well. I've attached a copy of notification with some of the data I sent to the county canvassing board. I'm going to go to that real quick here so you understand. This notification right here, King County Canvassing Board. Okay, this very first paragraph, I'm going to let you know. Everyone can read the rest of it at your leisure. I'm writing to notify you that following a review of the Secretary of State election records ballot currently under the board's consideration for the November 2022 general election, I have identified over 5,000 as having ballot digital modifications that may invalidate it. So to explain to people, I told you going back a couple years now, I have deciphered the state system, and I can identify to a significant number the ballots that are being digitally altered in the state system. And so in King County, they have 5,000 of them that I will tell you there's a ton more. But 5,000 I'm absolute about that were altered after the election was over to modify the date and time to allow that ballot to be counted from the looks of it, and to forge that ballot was actually that ballot information was actually finalized before the 2022 deadline in November, which that is not the case. The dates and times have been modified, and so I go into it here. Furthermore, in prior discussions with the Secretary of State Representative Stuart Holmes, he's the Deputy Director, I believe, and others, I had it confirmed to me that following the November 2020 election, the Secretary of State's office was aware of and approved county offices making date and time modifications to ballot date and time data in the voting system. That's right. And I will reference the video. I put it in here as well as part of my evidence. The state had approved after I caught them, and it was a massive deal. And the world of media obstruction has been blocking distribution of that report, which is on Rumble. I post that link down in the next page here, the 2020 Washington Election Crimes and Corruption Exposed. And that's what this is about. After that 2020 election, and I had issued an audit report and my findings of ballot data manipulation, ballots being created after the close of the election, the Secretary of State the following year in 2021, they had approved and oversaw the intentional forging of ballot data throughout counties throughout our entire state. Now, remember, if you watch that report in its entirety, and I encourage you to go to the Rumble video and watch it here. It's Rumble for a reason, because YouTube has been blocking this. They have been editing it. They have been obstructing it from going to court records when I referenced it for transcripts. This is part of the big tech intrusion on free speech. They know, and they are working to protect these people that I have exposed. In Washington State, we can all tell who live here, we have some of the most powerful big tech in the entire country, and they're trying to protect the state here, the people in power, and to keep them in power. And that's why YouTube has been doing what it's been doing to my videos. And we'll see if they let this one out, but it doesn't matter. Rumble, for everyone who gets this, please share it through the Rumble, because it is not, YouTube is filtering it. They are blocking it. They are throttling it. They are editing it. They are doing everything they can to stop the message from getting out on what really is happening out there. So I'll point out here also, during conversations with the Secretary of State Representative Stuart Holmes, once again, he is a deputy director under Steve Hobbs right now, who's the Secretary of State. I confirmed my understanding that the Secretary of State's office could not create the audit record for date and time modifications at a county level because the county auditor runs the county voting system, and agreed with my belief the county is the only one that knows why they are making modifications. That's a concept that will expose itself in the future to why that's so significant. But this has all been distributed to all these agencies now, so everything here is public record. Subsequently, for the August and November 2022 elections, following a review of the county certified reconciliation reports and ballot data, I identified that the King County Auditor does not have audit trail records for ballot date and time modifications, ballots created after the election deadline, and that there is no identifiable physical record of these modifications as an audit trail on the county reconciliation report that the county canvassing board certifies. I want to point everyone to the letter I sent. Again, you can read these documents in length. There are a lot of them. This was sent November 23rd. It is the 30th, and they just certified their elections. I warned them. They cannot claim ignorance, because I have accused all of them of being active participants. They certified the elections this week, even though I told them, I know what you're doing, because nobody has held them accountable up until this point. Well, that's all about to change. It is all about to change. So I'd like to point out the closing paragraphs here and explain the significance of it. Following the review of the RCWs I list right here, I believe that the voting system audit trail records identified as not existing are required by state and federal law, and that the Secretary of State, Deputy Director of Elections, King County Auditor, Director of Elections, and canvassing board are knowingly and willingly neglecting to properly perform their duties to ensure the voting system produces a record with an audit capacity. They are not doing it. Are providing an incomplete permanent record of the voting system. What they are certifying everybody as a permanent record is not the full picture. They are lying about it by omission and are certifying forged ballot data as a result of these acts. That's the key here with all 6 counties. They all know they're forging the data. They're forging it. They're making it up. They're telling everyone, here's what you should believe. Here's what the record will reflect forever and ever. But it's all been manipulated and changed to accommodate them. That is not something that I will and you ever will and should tolerate. And I caught them, and they are going to stand tall before the man over this. I believe the accused have violated the laws of the state of Washington and the United States of America, and I do. I believe they have. I think that I finally found a way to hold them accountable. And very importantly, I believe my complaint includes violation of Title III and request a public hearing on the record. I go on to name the accused for this King County complaint. This is Steve Hobbs, the Secretary of State, who participated with his Deputy Director, Stuart Holmes, the King County Auditor, the Director of Elections, Julie Wise, the King County Canvassing Board. All right, and here you will find links to physical video records that I created that expose, and this is added to the formal complaint now that will be in the hearing. I have taken and notarized this under oath, certifying that it's true and correct as an affidavit format. And then I've included physical records that you guys can all look at here. Now, I've said a lot. It's a big deal. And I've made a lot of statements in the past, but why is this such a big deal? Well, let's go through and look at the state and explain what's been going on with this Title III HAVA program and the reporting that I have now initiated. So first off, you will find there is a HAVA administrative complaint filing on the state's website. And I will tell you this, you can go through the state's website and see this. I didn't understand this for years, did not understand what this was. I was not directed to it. It is not something they guide you to, and I have said it in past videos. The state will not feel obligated to do anything. You must force them. And the federal government in 2002, when they passed this legislation, and let me get it in front of us here, they passed this Help America Vote Act in 2002. And this is available. I encourage you guys to look it up. It's a federal law that the state of Washington has to comply with. And part of it is this complaint form the state provides on their website. And you can read that on your own. It's very straightforward, but I think it's more important to read the federal laws on this to understand what the state is supposed to be complying with. So on 96, you'll see Title III starts, and it talks about what is regulated per this federal Help America Vote Act and what the state of Washington is supposed to be complying with. This is a lot for people who have not been involved in it, but those who are election integrity warriors out there, you need to make this something that you fully examine. I've read this thing back and forth, and I'm going to read it back and forth 10 more times. And I saw in here the significance of what was going on. And so let me explain the complaint process and the section of this federal law. Let me get to it here. So on page 126 of this, you'll see that this act gives you the grievance and complaint procedures. And so the next page of this, you'll see that it talks about the state program, which has to comply with this federal document. That's why I'm trying to explain to people. The state isn't doing this voluntarily. This is a federal program they have to be following. This is federally mandated. And so when you go into this, part 2, requirements for procedure, they shall be uniform and non-discretionary. And this is very interesting, this next part. Under the procedures, any person who believes that there is a violation of any provision of Title III, including a violation which has occurred, is occurring, or is about to occur, may file a complaint. I have all of those, and I will continue to file complaints under this section here for all of this. And so they tell you any complaint filed under the procedures shall be in writing and notarized and sworn by a person filing the complaint. the state may consolidate complaints if there's a lot under their subparagraph B. This is humongous. I have to tell you, one of the things I about jumped out of my seat when I read this, you guys. Everyone pay attention. At the request of the complainant, there shall be a hearing on the record. And what did I tell you guys? What did I do? Very straightforward. I believe my complaint includes violations of Title III and request a public hearing on the record. And that is what is going on with these complaints in these 6 counties. And to make sure you guys don't lose track of it, the federal government has mandated that the state shall have a hearing on the record. I have read the state code on this. I'm not going to get into. They are aligned very much on this. I'm a little uncertain on the direction this is going to go. And everyone out there understand my uncertainty because nothing like this has ever happened in our state. And so when you look at what has been going on here, let's look at the state's history of this. So this is the administrative complaint filing record on the state's website. This is required to be posted at the closing of every hearing filed against this program. You see 11 bullets here. I've counted them. This is one complaint in 2008. So let's put this in perspective. Everyone out there, this was a law in 2002. It had one complaint filed in 2008, and it is 2022, knocking on 2023. And after all the reporting, everyone in this state has been trying to get addressed. No one has ever filed under this since 2008, except one person, 14 years. Well, what did I tell you? I have officially filed under this program, and I have now got 8 complaints filed in this program, 8. And there are nearly, and I haven't even counted all of them, there's probably 30 defendants. Again, here's the image of the auditors who I have named in all the complaints. And I must remind everyone that my complaints include each of the members. So when you go to them, you can feel free to read them. The Secretary of State's included, and that's what's so interesting about this. I have not seen a procedure that has been federally approved, which allows the deals with complaints against the Secretary of State and the director, because they have been facilitating these forgeries. That's my accusation under oath. I have got them under verbal and under written evidence that they have been doing this. So we are going to see what funny business the state has here. I don't know if the feds have to take this thing over, but I do know that we're supposed to have a hearing under record. All witnesses are supposed to be sworn in, and this is going to happen. I am going to make sure this happens. This video is getting big. I got to tell everyone, I just want to make sure you're aware of it. This is the initial startup of this information. And so these 6 counties now, I'll remind everyone, these 6 counties that you see here, they have hearings under federal law. So the time frame of this is 30 days. 30 days, I'm going to be getting a response from the Secretary of State, Steve Hobbs, or whoever he assigns, and see how this process is followed. We, again, have a historic situation. Nothing has ever happened like this in our state. The 6 counties that I had pointed out have all participated in willfully and knowingly forging ballot data. I believe each of these counties need to be recanvassed in their entirety. We need to get to the bottom of this on why they think it's okay to forge ballot data, what they are hiding, what their intent was by lying about it on the permanent record of the election, and explain under the record, on the record, under the oath, why this has all been happening, who has told them to do this, and to explain all of this to us. We, the people, they work for us. The system is ours, and they have been cheating it. And these hearings, I hope to find out more, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So I wanted to share this with everyone and also remind you, I don't know what the other states out there understand about this. This has been kept a secret for 14 years in Washington State. And maybe for other states, maybe in Oregon, maybe in Arizona, maybe some other states that have had some funny business. You don't know about this process. You don't know about this federal law under Help America Vote Act. and the reporting requirements that states are supposed to follow, and what you have as the opportunity to go on the record in a public hearing and make people under oath respond to your accusations. So if you out there watching this video know someone who might benefit from this, who may not know about this, and needs to look into their own state process that is supposed to be complying with the federal law here, please share this. Please share this. I don't know if this is going to be the silver bullet to finally break this beast down, but I will tell you, I think it is going to be something significant. I know I've already made state history with my 8 complaints. There are half a dozen or more coming. There are 30 to 40 people who will be in these hearings who I've accused of participating in these violations. Every one of these 6 counties, your canvassing boards, that includes your county commissioners, your prosecuting attorneys, they have all been knowing participants of this. And they will be held accountable for this. I hope you hold them accountable, and you can look at these documents on my website, and you can read for yourself what is going on here and ask them why they've been doing this and why they think it's okay to forge election ballot data. Big news, everyone. Very excited to share this with everyone. I'll share more as soon as I can. And do spread the word as soon as you can. Thank you very much.